Hi everybody, thanks for joining us for Northern Ag TV. Well, U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins announced that agriculture producers who suffered crop losses to natural disasters in 2023 and 2024 can now apply for assistance through the Supplemental Disaster Relief Program. The USDA Farm Service Agency is delivering the assistance in two different stages. The first is open to producers with eligible crop losses that received assistance under crop insurance or non-insured crop disaster programs. The second stage will be for producers who are eligible for shallow or uncovered losses. The first stage sign-up will start in person at your local FSA office starting today, or the pre-filled applications will be in the mail later this week. And DTN recently had a summer webinar where they discussed the future of the cow herd and trends that we've seen here in 2025. I had the opportunity to visit with livestock market analyst for DTN and owner of Big Country Genetics, ShayLe Stewart, who highlighted the summer webinar.
The big lingering question over the marketplace is we're so thankful, we're so happy, we're so appreciative that these prices are rallying, but we know that so much is dependent on what happens to the state of the cow herd. So are we going to continue to liquidate? Is that even possible? Are we going to stay in a position of just kind of being stagnant, maintaining numbers, or are we going to start to see a build back? And unfortunately, really, we're kind of just in a pause place in the marketplace because we don't have the data to really tell us yet where exactly we are.
As ShayLe mentioned, we don't necessarily have the data to tell us where the herd is heading, but we should have an insight here in the coming weeks.
I really think it's going to be imperative that we watch the July cattle on feed report because obviously feeder cattle have been selling. We've seen both steers and heifers sold on video auctions, and obviously we're seeing cattle trade hands, whether it be on video sales or on the countryside. But we need to see if those females are going back into feedlots or if we're starting to see some of those females retained for the potential idea of either building back their cow herd. But then we also have to remember that just because those females aren't going into the feedlot, that doesn't mean that they're not going to hit the market potentially this fall.
ShayLe Stewart, the livestock market analyst for DTN, shared great insight on the future of the cow herd for the rest of this year. As always, you can find her daily market reports at DTN.com. Stay with us. We'll be back to take a look at those markets right after this.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.
Talking with someone that you know is stressed out, those are difficult things to approach, but if you're good friends with those people, reach out and say, I'm here to talk to you. We can find somewhere to get some assistance. It's hard to get involved, but at the same time, you want to just say, hey, there is help available.
For more tips in dealing with stress in agriculture or for free counseling for egg producers, visit beyondtheweather.com.
Well, after a record-setting day on Tuesday, the cattle markets decided that the new contract highs were not good enough as they soared to new highs once again on Wednesday. Feeder cattle contracts gained upwards of $1 to $2, and the live cattle contracts were upwards of 50 cents. The momentum in the contracts is coming from the support of technical indicators. We did see some cash cattle bids surface a little stronger than last week's prices, but with the dip in the box beef prices yesterday, we'll have to wait and see what the Fed cash market does to end the week. Choice cutouts in the box beef did have a pretty large fall as they dropped $6 back down to $3.86. And of course, it's a big week for the cattle auction market as Superior Livestock is hosting their Week in the Rockies video sale. Yearlings from our region hit the video screen yesterday. McConnell Cattle Company in Laramie, Wyoming sold mid 9-weight steers for September delivery for $315. The Enbar Ranch and Grass Range sold several lots of yearlings. Mid 8-weight steers for September delivery brought $346. Mid 9-weight steers brought $310. And the Padlock Ranch in Wyoming sold heavy 900-pound steers for $301. Now for the grain markets, it was yet another quiet and mixed day of trade. However, we did see some green ink on the board in the corn contracts and the winter wheat contracts. Corn futures managed to gain around a penny, with the Energy Information Administration announcing that ethanol production finally broke their 3-week decline. Now for soybeans, the pressure continued as contracts fell another 12 cents. Traders are looking ahead to Friday's World Supply and Demand report, which is expected to show an increase in soybean ending stocks. For the wheat futures, traders are also looking ahead at that supply and demand report, which will include the USDA production estimates for winter wheat, currently over 50% harvested in the South this week. The analysts are calling for a decrease in production compared to last month's report, while calling for a decline in ending stocks. KC winter wheat did trade 2 cents higher in the July and September contract, while spring wheat managed to climb a penny higher in the near contracts. Well, that's all the time we have here for Northern Ag TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Colton Young.